What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Algebra and Trigonometry, Chapter 2, Section 3, Models and Applications. Let's do it. To set up a model linear equation to fit real-world applications, what should always be the first step? So what I would say if we're talking about a linear equation consisting of y and x, I would define the variables and say y represents this, x represents that, and then create the relationship. If the total amount of money you had to invest was $2,000 and you deposit X amount in one investment, how can you represent the remaining amount? So we want to total invest 2,000 and we've already deposited X. Well, the remaining amount that we want to deposit is going to be the difference of 2,000 and X. Say, for example, we deposited 500. The amount we're going to deposit still would be 1,500, aka 2,000 minus 500, 2,000 minus X, done. If Bill was traveling v miles per hour, how would you represent Damon's speed if he was traveling 10 miles per hour faster? So here is Bill's speed, and Damon's speed would be whatever Bill's is plus 10, v plus 10, done. Beth and Ann are joking that their combined ages equal Sam's age. So we've got Beth, we've got Ann, and we've got Sam. If Beth is twice Ann's age, so let's say Ann is X years old, Beth would be double that. And Sam is 69. What are these ages? Check it out. Just by plotting out the information, I've created the perfect setup for an equation because they're saying these two together equals Sam's age. Now we just got to solve for x. So add 2x plus x, which is 3x, equals 69. Divide by 3, and we get x equals 23, little mental math. Then we plug this back into these two people. So Ann is simply x, which is 23 years old, and B is 2 times X, which is 46 years old. Boom, done. For the following exercises, use this scenario. 2 different telephone carriers offer the following plans that a person is considering. A has a monthly fee of 20 and charges 5 cents per minute. Company B has a fee of $5 and charges $10 per minute. Okay. And it says find the model of the total cost of company A's plan. So I can say that A's plan, or the cost of A, is that monthly fee of $20. So this is per month, right? Because we're trying to find the model of the total cost using M for the minutes. So we've got $20 per month plus 0.05 or 5 cents per minute. Means every minute it's 5 cents. That's why I'm going to have it multiply M, right? For example, if it was 2 minutes, it'd be 10 cents. If it was 10 minutes, it'd be 50 cents, etc. So A equals 20 plus 0.05 M, boom, done. And by the way, in the answer, they simply have an expression. They omit the A, so I kind of added that there, but this would be the expression that would represent the same thing. Find out how many minutes of calling would make the 2 plans equal. So we need an expression for company A, which would be a fee of $20 per month plus 5 cents per minute. So that's multiplying minutes. And for B, we have an expression of $5 flat fee and then 10 cents per minute. And we're trying to figure out when these two are equal, and that's it. Now we just solve for M, and we're going to have our answer. Now, if you're not a fan of decimals here, we can get rid of the decimals right off the bat. This is what I would recommend. If I multiply everything times 100, because if I do that, you're moving the decimal over 2 spots. That becomes 2,000 plus, move it over 2 spots, 5M equals 500, right, times 100 plus 10M. Now, these numbers, in my opinion, are much easier to work with. So now we subtract 500 from both sides, boom, boom, and we get 1,500 equals, simultaneously, I'm going to subtract 5M from both sides, boom, and we get 10M minus 5M is 5M. Last but not least, divide by 5. So what I like to do here is dividing by 5, you can do it mentally. You can divide by 10 and then double it. So you knock off a 0 and then double 150. So M equals 300 minutes. Boom, done. So here we've got a family plan, $90 per month, unlimited talk, and up to 8 lines. Data charges of $40 for each device for up to 2 gigs of data per device. The mobile share plan is $120 monthly for up to 10 devices, unlimited talk and text for all lines, and data charges of $35 for each device, up to a shared total of 10 gigabytes. So a lot of what I'm doing is I'm underlining the numbers. Use P for the number of devices that need data plans as part of their cost. Find the model of the total cost of the family plan. So if we're talking about the family plan, again, I'm going to use just an expression here. So we've got 90 as our typical monthly fee, and then we've got data charges of $40 per device. P is the number of devices, up to 2 gigabytes free. So I would say this is our winner. Boom, done. Assuming they stay under their data limit, find the number of devices that would make the two plans equal in cost. So again, for the family plan, we've got our cost of $90 monthly fee plus $40 per device. And we got for the mobile share plan, we've got $120 monthly fee plus $35 per device. And we're trying to figure out when these two are going to be equal. So I'm going to set them equal and solve for P. So first I'm going to subtract 35p from both sides. And this is arbitrary, right? I could have subtracted 40p. This way you just keep the coefficient there positive. And I got 5p equals. And in the same step, I'm going to subtract 90 from both sides. Boom. And I get 120 minus 90 is 30. Last but not least, let's divide both sides by 5. And I get p equals 30 divided by 5, which is 6. Boom, done. A retired woman has $50,000 to invest but needs to make $6,000 a year from the interest. One bond investment pays 15%. The rest of it she wants to put in a CD that pays 7%. If we let X be the amount the woman invests in the 15% bond, how much will she be able to invest in the CD? So again, it's going one place or the other. So we've got 50,000 total, and we're removing X to invest into this 15% bond. This is the remaining value that is left to invest in the CD. Done. Two planes fly in opposite direction. One travels 450 miles per hour. The other one travels 550 miles per hour. How long will it take before they are 4,000 miles apart? And they're going in opposite directions. So check this out. If we're flying this per hour, to get the distance, we do rate 450 times the number of hours. This one is, again, a rate times the number of hours. Now, these distances, right, we're adding them together because if you think about it, one's flying this way, one's flying this way. So their total distance apart would be distance 1 plus distance 2 from that starting point. So all we have to do is we're just basically saying, hey, how long is the total distance of these two, or how many hours will the total distance of these two equal 4,000 miles? So now we solve for H. So we add those together. That's 1,000. H equals 4,000. Divide by 1,000. Boom, boom. And H equals 4. So it'll be 4 hours. Boom, done. Fiona starts riding her bike at 20 miles per hour. After a while, she slows down to 12 miles per hour and maintains that speed the rest of the trip. The whole trip of 70 miles takes her 4.5 hours. What distance does she travel at 20 miles per hour? Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a relationship involving distance, okay? So check this out. The entire distance of the trip is 70 miles, okay? And that takes her 4.5 hours. So the way I'm going to break this up is this is distance. I want it to be distance on the left side as well. So over here, I've got rates. And the way I convert rates to distance is I multiply them by time. For example, 20 miles per hour times 2 hours, doing that for 2 hours, that's 40 miles you're traveling. So we can say she travels for this many hours here. And then we're traveling a certain distance at 12 miles per hour. Now here's the key, okay? We're doing the rest at, I could say another variable, but that's not going to help because we're going to have two variables. So I'd love to do it with respect to H. Well, since the total trip is 4.5 hours, and this is H, I can say this remaining amount is the 4.5 minus how far we went here, or for how long we went there. Now I got a nice equation. Now I can solve. So I'm going to distribute the 12. I got 20H plus 4 times 12 is 48, plus half of 12 is 6. That's 54 minus 12H. Now I'm going to combine like terms, so these guys add up, or minus, sorry, 20H minus 12 is 8H. And I'm going to simultaneously subtract 54 from both sides like this. And I got 8H equals 16. We're going to divide both sides by 8. Boom, boom. H equals 2. So she went 2 hours at the 20 miles per hour. So I have to look back, hey, are we solving for how long we went here or how long we went here? So 2 hours is how long she traveled at 20 miles per hour. To get the distance, we again take rate times time. 20 times 2 is 40. The answer is 40 miles. Boom. Done. Paul has $20,000 to invest. His intent is to earn 11% interest on his investment. He can invest part of his money at 8% and part at 12%. How much does Paul need to invest in each option to get a total 11% return on his 20,000? So the way I'm going to set this up is, again, I've underlined these numbers 8, 12, 11. So we can start with a certain amount that we need to invest at 12% interest. Then we've got another amount that we need to invest at 8% or 0.08% interest. Well, how much is that? Well, if X is gone here and he's got 20,000 total, the remaining, meaning 20,000 after we remove X, is going here. And we need all of this to give us a return of 11% of this 20,000 in total. So now, as we just thought the problem out, we've created this really nice representation, really nice equation that we can now solve for. So let's start by distributing the 0.08. We got 0.12x plus 0.08 times 20,000. That's 1,600 minus 0.08x equals, and then 0.11 times 20,000. 10% is 2,000. 1% is 200, so 2,200. Now, again, if you want to multiply by 100 and get rid of the decimals, you can. I'm actually not going to here. I'm going to leave it as is. So 0.12x minus 0.08x is 0.04x. And then I'm going to simultaneously subtract 1,600 from both sides, like so. And then we've got 0.04x equals, what is that, 600. And then we divide both sides by 0.04. Boom. I'm going to move the decimal over twice and then add 2 zeros up top. I'm allowed to do that. So now it's much easier. 60,000 divided by 4 to do it mentally. I would say dividing by 4 is like taking half. So half is 30. Half of that is 15. So the amount in the 12% will be 15,000. And the amount then in the 8% will be the remaining 5,000. And there is your winner. Done. For the following exercises, use this scenario. A truck rental agency offers two kinds of plans. Plan A charges $75 per week plus 10 cents. Plan B charges $100 per week plus 5 cents. So write the model equation for renting with Plan B. So the model equation, all right, so I'm going to use B as my variable for the total cost because equation implies we need a equal sign. So I'm going to say B equals a fixed cost of $100 plus 0.05 or 5 cents times X, which is X is going to be the number of miles driven. There's your winner. Done. If Tim knows he has to travel 300 miles, which plan should he use? So we've got B with our equation equaling 100 plus 0.05x. And we've got A equaling 75 per week plus 10 cents per mile. And the question is, which one is better for going 300 miles, aka plugging in 300 for X? So we're going to plug in 300 for both and see which one's cheaper. So this one is going to be 100 plus 0.05 times 300. And we can do that mentally. That's like 5 times 300, which is 1,500. Then move the decimal over twice, and that's 15. This is going to be 115. And then for A, we're going to plug 300 in over here. 0.1 times 300 is 30. Right, so we got 75 plus 30, which equals 105. So A is the better deal because we get 105, boom, done. So in this question, all we're doing is plugging and chugging. So first thing I'm going to plug in 245 for F. Then I'm going to plug in 45 for M and 7 for V, and we're trying to solve for R. Okay, so now we got a nice equation, and we got things that we can evaluate. But first, let's isolate R. So first thing, before I do anything, I'm going to multiply both sides by R. That's going to cancel that out. We got 245 times R. And then I'm going to divide the both sides by 245. I'm going to kind of consolidate it in one step. So we have less to write. So now it's R equals 45 times 7 squared, which is 49 over 245. Now I can multiply this out and then I can divide. That's going to be a mess. Instead, I'm going to simplify as follows. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 245 divided by 5 is actually 49. So that's really nice because guess what? Now these cancel out and I'm left with the final answer of 9. Boom, done. 1 over 1 minus R is the formula for an infinite series sum. If the sum is 5, find R. So guess what? I plug and chug 5 is going to be for sum equals 1 over 1 minus r. Now we want to solve for r, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to first multiply both sides by that denominator to have a chance of solving r. This cancels out, this cancels out. 1 equals, let's go ahead and distribute the 5. Then I got 5 minus 5r. Then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Boom, boom. Negative 5r equals negative 4. Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. Negatives cancel out. R equals 4 over 5. Boom, done. So 33 relies on 32. On that equation, P equals 2L plus 2W. And they want to find the width of a rectangle whose length is 15, so that's going to go in here, and whose perimeter is 58 in there. Plug and chug, let's go. 58 equals 2 times 15, which is 30, plus 2W. Now I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides like so. I got 28 equals 2W, divide both sides by 2, boom, boom. And W equals 28 divided by 2 is 14, boom, done. So for 35, we need to use this formula here, and we need to solve for f when p equals 8, q equals 13. Let's go. So 1 over p is 8, plus 1 over q, which is 13, equals 1 over f. So you might fall into the trap of being like, cool, it's 8 plus 13, f is 21, but of course that's not the case. We need to get common denominators to solve this. So 8 and 13, their least common multiple is going to be 104. Basically, I'm just multiplying the two against each other. So I'm going to multiply this one by 13 over 13, boom, boom, and this one by 8 over 8, like so. Now I've got 13 plus 8 over 13 times 8, which is 104, which equals 1 over f. Of course, this becomes 13 plus 20 plus 8 is 21, and now I got a nice situation because I can cross multiply. So we cross. I got 21f equals 104. Last step, divide both sides by 21. And the final answer is, of course, 104 over 21. Can't reduce it. Boom, done. Use the formula from the previous question to find m when the coordinates of the point are 4, 7, and b equals 12. So I'm going to plug in 4 for x, 7 for y, and of course 12 for b. So 7 equals m, which is our unknown, times 4 plus b, which is 12. And now we're just going to isolate. So I'm going to start by subtracting 12 from both sides. And that 7 minus 12 is negative 5 equals m times 4. I'll just say 4m. Same thing. Then we're going to divide both sides by 4 to isolate. And we've got m equals negative 5/4. Boom, done. So here they want to solve for h, aka isolate h. So my first step is I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. That's going to get rid of that 1/2. So 2a equals h times b1 plus b2. Now I can do something cool. I don't have to distribute, don't have to do anything. I can, in one fell swoop, divide both sides by b1 plus b2, b1 plus b2, cancel. H equals 2a over, that's base 1 plus base 2, boom, done. So here the length is 200 more than the width. So that's pretty cool because I can represent length as x plus 200 and width as x. And now that shows length is 200 more than x. Now we can plug all this into our equation, 1040 for the perimeter. And the important thing here is you notice I've turned two variables, actually three variables, into just one, and that's what we want, single variable equation. So we got equals 2 times length plus 2 times width, and now we solve, distribute. 1040 equals 2x plus 400 plus 2x. I'm going to combine like terms while subtracting 400 from both sides, right? So that cancels out. 2x plus 2x is 4x equals 640. Last but not least, we'll divide by 4, which is like taking half. So half of that is 320. Half of that again is 160. So we can now say, since width is x, it's a width of 160 feet and a length of 200 more than that, which is 360 feet. Boom, done. Using the formula from the previous exercise, find the distance that Susan travels if she is moving at a rate of 60 miles per hour for 6.75 hours. So we want to find distance when rate is 60 and time is 6.75. Pretty nice. We're good to go. Just multiply. So multiply across, and let's see if we can do it mentally. 60 times 6 is 360. 3/4 or 0.75 of 60 is 45. So it's basically 360 and 45 added together, which equals 405 miles. Boom, done. If the area model for a triangle is this, find the area of a triangle with a height of 16 and a base of 11, plug and chug. So we got A equals 1/2, base of 11, height of 16. So I'm going to show you the most efficient way to do this. Obviously, we could do 1/2 of 11, and that's kind of a mess because it's 5.5. But instead, I can multiply by the 16. It doesn't matter. Commutative property of multiplication. So that is 8 times 11, and that's really easy to do, which is 88. And the area is in inches, but squared, because that's area. It's in inches or whatever unit squared. There's your winner. Done. So here we're supposed to find the height to the nearest tenth of a triangle with base 15 and area of 215. So let's go. So we plug in area for A, and then we plug in 1/2 base 15, so 15 for B, and then times H, and now we got to solve. So first, instead of multiplying 15 times 1/2, I'm actually going to multiply both sides times 2. This is just to make life a little easier, make it not as much weird numbers. So now I got 430 on this side equals 15H. Now we're going to divide both sides by 15, and they want to the nearest tenth. Let's go ahead and do this by hand just for fun. So 430, right to the nearest tenth, right? Yeah, divided by 15. So we got 15 goes into 43 2 times. That's 30. 13, bring down the 0. Then we got 15 going into 130. What is that? 90, 105, 120, which is 8 times, right? And make sure to put the decimal up top. 8 times that is 120. Subtract, we get 10, bring down the 0. That goes in 6 times, which is 90. 10, bring down the 0. And you can see it's going to be repeating 6s. So we round up to the nearest tenth, which is going to be 28.7. And the unit does not say, so we just say 28.7. Boom, done. Here they want us to solve for H, which just means to isolate. So I can do this in one step. I can just divide both sides by pi r squared. It's pretty quick. And my final answer is H equals V over pi r squared. Done. Here we're meant to solve for r, so check it out. My first step is I'm going to divide both sides by pi times h. So I get v over pi times h equals r squared. Now I need to get rid of the square, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Square root of r squared is just r, and we have equals the square root of v over pi h. Boom, done. Here's the formula for the circumference of a circle. Find the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 12 inches. Use the symbol pi in your final answer. So if we've got a circle, I'm going to do a quick crude drawing, and we've got a diameter of 12. Well, they've got radius in here. Now, they do say that diameter is 2 times radius, so that's nice. So it means radius is half of the diameter, which is 6. Now we can plug and chug. So C equals 2 pi times 6. These guys multiply. The circumference is 12 pi, and circumference is a measurement of length, so that's just inches, same unit as the radius and diameter. Boom, done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click that like button. And if you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel, make sure to click subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.